What is going on, everyone? Welcome to your 76th Java tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be finishing up that program that lets us do mouse events, and well, that's pretty much it. So in case you can't tell right here, we implemented from two different interfaces, which are pretty much just a class in essence, the mouse listener, and we did the 5 methods necessary for that. But we implemented from this other one too, MouseMotionListener, and these are pretty much, like you can see, the motions of the mouse. So when you move the mouse like this, or click and hold down and drag, that's what registers these events. So these are pretty useful for like drawing programs and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and implement the methods right now. So public, I'm gonna make a little comment. These are mouse motion events, so not just the typical mouse what do they call, mouse listener or whatever. So the first method we need to make is called mouse drag. So public void mouse dragged. I always heard it was drug, like dig, dug, drag. Anyways, just talking to myself here. So let's go ahead and put mouse event, nothing new here. And for the body, what do we want to do when they drag the mouse? Well, let's go ahead and there's nothing really we can do except change the status bar dot set text, and we'll set it equal to something like, put that back. Come on, Haas. You are dragging the mouse. How original is that? I know. It's the most creative thing I can come up with. But hey, I'm not that creative. That's what my therapist told me. So I'm just going to go with that. So after that, what we need to do is have mouse moved. And what mouse moved does is called when you move the mouse without clicking any buttons. Just like I'm moving the mouse right here and I'm not clicking any buttons. So mouse dragged is when you hold down a button, but public void mouse moved is not holding down any buttons. So let's go ahead and type mouse event, and in our body, what do we want to put? Status bar dot set text, and let's go ahead and just put something like you move the mouse. So now we got MOUSEO, of course that's how you spell mouse. So now we got all of our methods that we needed to implement since we implemented from mouse listener and mouse motion listener. So now we can go ahead and run this program, and evidently it doesn't see one of these things is spelled wrong. HANDLER CLASS. HAND. Oh, there we go. Make sure your capitalization does matter. It's case sensitive in Java, as you just saw. So now let's go ahead and run this program right here, and I'll show you guys what happens if we don't got any errors. It'll pop up, trust me. So here is our window by default. It has a title bar at the top, and here's a status bar down here, and here's our mouse panel. And so the first thing we see is, well, let me go through each of these methods. Look at the status bar down here. I'm going to press down or hold down the mouse button, and it says you pressed down the mouse button. Now when I release it, it says I clicked at that coordinate, because when you press down and release it real quick, it's a click. So if you're saying, alright, if I press down and release it, that's a click. How do I get this to the release method? Well, if you click it and drag it and let it go, that's the one that says you release the button. So if you click down and release in the same spot, it's a click. If you click down and drag it and release it, it says you release the button. So now what do we have? We have mouse pressed, mouse clicked, mouse released. We also have mouse entered. As you can see, as I'm entering it, it's changing red. As I'm exiting it, the mouse has left the window. It's changing white. And lastly, I have you move the mouse. And if I hold down my button, look, I'm clicking down the button and dragging, it says you are dragging the mouse. So now let me talk through each of these methods. You guys should know what all this means, how to create the window by now if you've been watching my tutorials. And let me talk through each one of these. Remember, well, I might as well just run that again so I can bring it up. Bring it right there. So remember when it said mouse clicked, it set the text equal to the two coordinates, %d, which was event get x and get y. And I know you guys can't see get y, but trust me. So look at this. Clicked at 10:10:65. Clicked at 30:46. So that is pretty much what it means. And for your information, the x is left to right and the y is top to bottom. It starts at 0, 0 right here, and it increases the most right here. Look, 279, 141. So that is what click does. The mouse pressed is pretty much taking it right here, and when you pressed it down, that's why we were able to get this text. You press down the mouse. Mouse released. Let me make sure I can't move my mouse. You release the button. So that's why we're able when we let go of our mouse button. And of course, when we enter the area, it not only says you enter the area for a short bit of time, but it also changes the color to red. Look at this. Not in, not in. Oh, I entered. I didn't come in yet. Oh, I just entered again. It's red. So now, what else did we do? Exited is white. It's the same thing. And the last one is dragged, which is holding your mouse button down. That way, we were able to set the status bar to you are dragging the mouse and moving it without holding it down. You move the mouse. Look at that. So now, what do we know how to learn in Java? In this little program that took quite a little ways to build, we learned how to respond to the user's mouse events. So now we know how to respond to their keyboard events using scanner and the other stuff we learned in that tutorial, and also their mouse events right now. So we can pretty much start building some pretty cool programs using, graphics and stuff like that. But for the next tutorial, I'm probably going to be teaching you about layouts, how to make super cool windows with buttons right where you want them, and more stuff like that. But for now, thank you guys for watching my mouse event handling tutorial. I hope you learned a little something. Of course, not too much, because come on, why would you want to learn a lot? Learning, not that fun. So again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So glad you're subscribers, so glad. Thank you for your views. Don't forget to subscribe again, and I will see you next tutorial.